We'll go ahead and get started. Hey guys, how are you all? I hope everybody's good. I can't see your responses if you're typing anything in the YouTube chat, but I will see them later. So say hello if you're here. This is our second senior meeting. We're going to be discussing a few different things this morning that are all very important. So this meeting is for students, but we encourage parents to be here as well. If your parent is unable to be here right now to watch live, they can watch it. They can go to the Central YouTube channel and watch it later. So make sure that your parent gets all this information too. So we're going to have Miss Vidito from Balfour that is going to speak with us, but I'm not seeing her on our meeting just yet. So whenever she pops in, we'll let her speak. I had put her first because I wanted to save, be respectful of her time and not have her have to sit through our whole meeting. But whenever she pops in, we'll let her talk. Okay, so last week was college application week, and we had 2 ways to win something. One was for those who submitted a college application or proof of a college application. If you did that, even if you sent me like 5 applications, that was only 1 entry per student. And then our second drawing was if you attended the virtual college visits, and for every visit you went to, you got an entry. So those, you could have more than 1. So I am going to share my screen here. Maybe. I'm working on it, y'all. Okay. So this, can everybody see this?
Yes.
Type in yes. Okay, you all can see it. Okay, good. So this is for those who submitted their proof of college application. So we're just going to click this. Faduma Omar is the winner. So Faduma, we will be mailing your prize to you. We will be in touch with you to make sure we've got your correct email address, correct mailing address and everything. We'll be sending that to you in the mail. And then the next one will be for the college visits. Oh, Fatuma Abdi. So we will be contacting you for your information too, for your prize. So thank you guys to all of you all who participated. We're going to try to do stuff like this regularly just for fun and to get you guys excited about college and stuff like that. So thank you for everyone who participated. And congratulations to you guys who won. Okay, so important dates to know. Next week is Wellness Week. I'm not going to go into the details of that because Miss Beaumont's going to be talking about that in a little bit, but just wanted to remind you guys that it is Wellness Week next week. We have no school on Tuesday. A lot of you guys are 18. If you're 18 and registered to vote, please vote. Also, a reminder that Mr. Held from Kia is offering one-on-one assistance with FAFSA. The link is on here, and I'm going to post this entire slide presentation on the Senior Google Classroom after this meeting is over. So you'll have the link to that when you access the slide presentation. He still has a few spots left though, so definitely sign up if you need help. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the Evolve 502 Scholarship. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but it's for all JCPS graduates. You have to be enrolled in a JCPS high school since at least the 9th grade. So if you moved here in the middle of high school, they say you're not eligible, but they also say that you should still apply just because they will do some exceptions. So if maybe you've only been here for 2 years in JCPS, still go ahead and apply. That's what I've been told by the reps. But so what this does is this provides 2 years of tuition at JCTC or another KCTCS school or Simmons College. And the thing about this scholarship is that it is, if you apply for it and you meet the requirements of it, you're guaranteed to get it. So you're not competing with people to get it. It's not like there's just a handful of these scholarships available and you should fill out your application and you might get it. Like if you meet the requirements, you're going to get it. And there's not a requirement as far as GPA, ACT score, anything like that. So the goal is for all students to be able to attend 2 years at JCTC or Simmons College completely for free. Now, I've linked the website for where to apply and where to get more information on here. And again, this is going to be posted in the Senior Google Classroom, so you'll have access to that. Now, if some of you guys are wanting to go to a 4-year college and you're thinking, well, JCTC is really not for me, you can always do 2 years at JCTC for free with this scholarship, and then you can transfer somewhere else. There's been all the time that I've been a school counselor, I've always recommended to students that they do do the first couple years at JCTC because it's a lot cheaper than the 4-year universities. And so I've always recommended that, but now it's not just cheaper, like it's free. So make sure that you guys are taking advantage of this. Dr. Bumpus, if you go to the next slide, there's a little bit more information about the scholarship. So the online application, like I said, I linked it on that slide and this one. And these are the things that you need to do before you complete your application. You need to have access to all of these things. I'm not going to read them to you because you guys can read, but you need to have all those things. Also, to be eligible for this scholarship, you have to complete the FAFSA. Okay, so make sure that you complete the FAFSA. You have to finish high school, which obviously that's everybody's goal, is that you're going to finish high school. And then you have to enroll at a KCTCS school or at Simmons College. So if you go to that website, it also gives you the links to apply for those schools. So you can get it all done in one stop. You just fill out your stuff, do your KCTC or Simmons College application, and then you're good to go. So I encourage everybody to apply for that, even if you are 100% sure that you want to go somewhere else, that you already know where you want to go. But you just never know what's going to happen. And if you apply for it, there's no commitment. That doesn't mean you're saying, this is what I'm going to do. So if you think that you're going to go, if you know you want to go to college, or even if you're not sure if you want to go to college, just go ahead and fill that out so that you're eligible to get that tuition paid for. I know that with COVID and everything else, things have changed. And, a lot of classes are offered, at this year, some colleges went to online only. So hopefully things will be different by the time you guys are going to school, but we don't know what that's going to be like. So it's very possible that you might have, the school you want to go to is offered all online. So rather than pay a bunch of money to take online classes, you could do JCTC classes for free. Okay. Are there any questions in the chat, Dr. Bumpus or Dr. King, before I move on?
No questions, Ms. Poor.
Awesome. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is scholarships. I'm going to show you guys how to get to this. And I've told you guys about this before, but it's just important that you're checking that scholarship document that Ms. Bradford and I created. We're always updating it every time we hear of new scholarships. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to get to that in case you're not for sure, but just remember to keep checking that for scholarships. So college applications, if you have not already started filling out college applications, you want to go ahead and start doing that. Some colleges have an application deadline, some do not. Some are more on a rolling admission. But even those schools that are on a rolling admission, they have merit-based scholarships that they automatically award to students. But you have to that deadline is December 1st. So you want to make sure that you are getting in those college applications. Again, applying for a college does not commit you to attending that college. So apply for, all the colleges that you feel like you might be interested in applying for. Transcripts. I get a question about this at least once a day, usually about 5 times a day. We use a platform called Parchment to order transcripts. Trust me when I say it is the easiest way and fastest way to get your transcript sent to a college. I checked Parchment every couple of days for new orders, and I process orders every couple of days. Here lately, I've been checking it every day. So that is going to be the fastest way to get your transcripts ordered. If you don't know how to do that, there are instructions in the Senior Google Classroom, and it will give you instructions on how to do that. But it's very, very important that you're using Parchment. Also, in case you did not know, schools will not take a transcript coming straight from the student. They want it to come like the official transcript from the school. So even if you send your transcript yourself, then they're not going to take it. They're just going to ask for it from us anyway. So make sure you're using Parchment to order transcripts.
Okay, Ms. Poor, there is a question. It says,
okay,
do we have to apply for a Pell Grant separately, or does the school give it to us automatically?
Very good question. Let me get back. Can I get back to you on that one?
Sure.
Or whomever that was that asked that. We can move on. Okay. About college recommendations, college recommendation letters or forms. So Miss Beaumont and I are both very willing to complete these for you guys, but it's really important that you guys are completing this Google form that I have linked here. It's also on the Google Classroom, the Senior Google Classroom. The reason that we want you to complete this is because the information that you give us on this form helps us tremendously when writing recommendations for you. Some of you guys we know really well, and we know what you're involved in, and we know the things you've done. Others of you we don't know as well. We don't know the things you're involved in. But either way about it, we haven't seen you guys in person since March. So there's a lot of activities and stuff you guys may have done that we would have no idea that you've done because we haven't seen you in so long. So it is very, very, very important that you fill out this Google form. I want everybody to fill it out if possible, because that way, if you do a recommendation, we've already got your form. But also, sometimes we get contacted to nominate students for scholarships. And this is a good way that we use to look at the stuff that you guys have done and know who to nominate for certain scholarships. Now, when it comes to recommendations and recommendation letters and recommendation forms, we just ask that you be patient with us and give us some time, because as I've said before, there's like 300 of you guys and there's only one of me. Plus, we both have a third of the freshmen as well. But you don't want me to rush through. You don't want us to rush through a recommendation for you. You want us to give it some time and give it our full effort. So just be patient with us when it comes to the recommendations. We are very, very happy to do them for you, though.
Okay, I've got another question. It says, some colleges ask me to email a counselor a document about my transcript. Do you still want me to send it through Parchment?
Yes, I do. If you get something, I think I know what you're talking about, but there are some that do that they will send me an email will come to me saying that this person, that this person's transcript needs to be sent, and I have the option on there to click that I've sent it through another means, like Parchment. So I actually did a bunch of those today. I went through before this meeting. That's what I've been working on, is sending transcripts and doing recommendations. So I went in and I looked at all the ones that had been sent to me, and I checked it with Parchment, and about 90% of them had already been sent through Parchment. So I just clicked the button that said that it had already been sent. So yes, anytime that you get anything, you can send that to me, but also request it on parchment.
Okay, and then someone else said that they sent theirs through parchment, but they're still asking for it, but it says it went through. And then Terrence says sometimes it just takes the colleges up to 2 weeks to process it.
That's exactly right. And that's a big frustration for school counselors, is that, you know, you have to kind of think about it. When we send it, it goes from us to like a generic email address or a generic, you know, account where all the transcripts for every single applicant are being sent. And so it takes some time to kind of filter through and make sure that the the transcript gets into the right file. It just goes through several different steps. And it's a good process, and it's fine. But in the meantime, the colleges send these things to the students saying, like, we still don't have your transcript. And then the students are frustrated because they're like, Ms. Porter didn't send my transcript. I asked Ms. Porter to send my transcript. The good thing about parchment, as Terrence was saying, is that you can see if it's been sent. And that's another benefit to parchment, as opposed to like emailing me and saying like, hey, Ms. Porter, can you send my transcript to so-and-so at U of L? Like, I can say, yes, I will, but I might forget, and you will have no idea if I did that or not. But on parchment, you can look and you can see when it's been sent. So yeah, I know that's really frustrating. It's frustrating for us too. All right, ACT. The next ACT date is December the 12th. The registration deadline is November the 20th. I encourage all of you guys to take ACT if you are able to, even if you've already taken it before. We're going to talk in a minute about fee waivers and how to go about doing that. But if you need to take ACT or want to take ACT again, the next date is December 12th, and you can register at actstudent.org.
Ms. Poor, really quick, I can imagine this is a school by school basis, but there's a question. How do you check if an application is 100% complete? I've gotten mixed messages from emails.
So yeah, most of the schools will have, like when you go online to apply, it'll have you create like a username, or it'll give you like a login or something like that. And you should be able to go in like school by school and see what still needs to be done. And kind of like we talked about earlier, it may say on there, you know, like that the transcript is missing, but you know that it has been sent on parchment. So if you get that confirmation that it's been sent and someone's contacting you and saying we didn't get it, you can say it was sent on parchment on such and such date. If it's, you know, like Terrence was saying, it can take up to 2 weeks. If it's been like 2 or 3 weeks and it's still saying that, you can always put another request in parchment or contact them. But yeah, you should be able to see your application status through the individual school websites.
And also, who can we go to if we need help with an application to make sure we filled it out correctly?
Very good. Okay, so I'm really glad that you asked this question because, and I don't know who asked it because I can't look at the chat, but so some people, and I won't say anybody's names because I don't want to call anybody out, even though it's nothing to be embarrassed about, but I've had individual meetings with lots of students over the past month or so, and I've helped with college applications. What I plan on doing, especially since with Wellness Week coming up next week, is I plan on looking at my schedule for the week and putting out a Sign Up Genius for students to meet with me whenever, you know, if they need anything. That's not just for college application help, but it's definitely includes college application help. Miss Beaumont is also willing to help students with college applications if they need it. We both are very, very willing to help. It's important to us that we still provide you with the same like services and help and assistance that we would if we were in school. And if we were in the building, these are the things that we would be doing with you. And so it's really just trying to make sure that our schedules can connect and that we can work with you guys. I know some people have been, I have heard that people have said, you know, I'm frustrated because I feel like I'm not getting any help on my college applications. If you don't reach out to me, I have no idea that you're having trouble with your college applications. So let us know. You know, if you're somebody that has met with me and you know, want to vouch for me and say, yes, Ms. Poor has met with me, Ms. Poor has helped me, then you don't have to, but feel free to, because I really will help if I know that you need it. But if I don't know you need it, I can't help. And the same goes for Ms. Beaumont. All right, so I'm going to keep on talking about ACT prep during Wellness Week. So Mr. Tierney is providing ACT help next week during Wellness Week. Again, this whole thing is going to be linked to the Google Classroom, so you'll be able to access these links. And he's offering it every day next week except for Tuesday because we don't have school. And if you look here, he's got different topics each day. You can attend all 4. You can attend 1. You can attend 2, 3. It's totally up to you. This is completely voluntary, but this is something that we really, really encourage you to do. ACT prep is something that we really try to do during the school year when things are, you know, normal and regular, and that's something that we haven't been able to do yet. And so this is a really awesome opportunity for you guys. Okay, so if you're interested, definitely get signed up for that. Okay, fee waivers. If you need a fee waiver, either a college application fee waiver or an ACT fee waiver, you are going to email Miss Bradford, and her email address is there. Now, I have had numerous students contact me and say that, well, let me back up. So what happens is she has the fee waiver. You contact her and say, I need a fee waiver to this school, this school, this school. She checks and makes sure you're eligible for it. Then she sends you the fee waiver in the mail because you have to sign it. So then you can fill it out and sign it, and you can send it off to the college. You can do that via email or you can do it in the mail. I have heard from numerous students that WKU is not accepting those fee waivers directly from students. So what we would like for you to do, if you have a fee waiver, an application fee waiver for WKU, you can take a picture. Once you've signed it and filled out your part, take a picture of it. You can send it to me or you can send it to Miss Bradford, and we can send it on to WKU for you. So far, WKU is the only school that I'm hearing that anybody's having trouble with. But should you try to send it to a school and they tell you the same thing, like, nope, sorry, it's got to come from your school, just do the same thing. Take a picture of it, send it to Miss Bradford or myself, and we'll send it for you. Okay. If you need an ACT fee waiver, you also will contact Miss Bradford. She will give you the fee waiver code that you will put in when you're registering for ACT. Now, it's really important to acknowledge this, and I've told you guys this before, but I'm going to tell you again, the number of fee waivers that you're allowed to have has increased for this year. So take advantage of this. If you're on fee waiver, you can get up to 4 fee waivers for ACT. So take it. Just keep on taking it. It's free. It doesn't hurt anything. It can only help you. So that's how you get fee waivers.
Ms. Poor, Danye suggested using the Black Common application for all the HBCUs. A lot of people
yes.
agreed that that was helpful. And
yes.
then, Kira wanted to know if it was normal for colleges to keep emailing about FAFSA even though she already completed it.
Why don't you email me individually, Kiera, about that? Like, forward me one of the emails and I'll.
And again, that might be the just processing. It takes a little while.
Yes.
And, Ms. Bradford just answered a question that was confirming that the fee waiver is only for students that are on free and reduced lunch.
Yes, thank you. And it's something that's very important to point out is that something that we've run into this year, Miss Bradford and I, is that I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. So a lot of parents, because we're not in school, in the building, they didn't fill out that the form to get free or reduced lunch, because it's like, well, I'm not going into school, and there's this school food sites where you can get meals. And so that's just been something that parents have just been like, it's just not something that I needed to do this year because we're not in school. But it is important to make sure that your parent does complete that, because if you did not apply this year, then you're showing on Miss Bradford's list as not being on free or reduced lunch. So what's happening is she's having to say, I'm sorry, like, you're not on free or reduced lunch. And you might have been last year, but for this year, the documentation we have says you're not. So make sure you check and see if, and parents who are on here, make sure you're applying for the benefits for free and reduced lunch. You can find that on the JCPS website. And students that are on here, just make sure, check with your parent if you believe that you should qualify for a fee waiver. Just make sure that your parent has completed the paperwork. Okay, so this is so important, and I really, really, really want you guys to pay attention to this. And I've emailed a lot of you about this when you've asked me questions. So one thing that I know I post a ton of stuff on Google Classroom, which can be annoying, but it's just the best way to communicate with you guys at this point, because how else am I going to communicate with all of the seniors at the same time? So anytime there's something that I think is like important, or something that I feel like this is something a student might need to reference again, it's not just like a one-time, hey, this is the announcement and, moving on. I have created something on the senior Google Classroom that has useful information. So if you go on the senior level Google Classroom, if you go to classwork, there's this folder called useful information. And I have put on here things that I think are useful information. So for example, the scholarship list that I was talking about, that can be found in that folder. The instructions on how to request your transcripts through Parchment, that can be found on this folder. When we're done with this meeting, I'm going to put the slides from this meeting into that folder. The form for recommendations for us to fill out for you for colleges, that can be found on there. So this is really like sort of just a one-stop shop of, this is where you can find things that you probably need to find. So please, 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 because and it's okay that you all do this, but I get emails literally almost every day saying, how do I find out where the scholarships are? How do I find out where the transcripts are? And I could just link the transcript link for you, or I could just link the scholarship for you, but I want you guys to know where to find it. So every time I say, go on the Google Classroom, click on classwork, click on useful information. So many of you guys have gotten that spiel from me, but this is where this is your one-stop shop for stuff. So hopefully that makes it easier for you guys. As long as you know where to find it, it should make it easy.
There's a question on here. It says, so we send the college the fee waiver before, oh, never mind. Miss Bradford's answering it. We can.
Thank you, Miss Bradford. Okay, this I'm not going to go through one by one because you guys can read. And again, I'm going to put this on the Google Classroom. But this is sort of like just a quick reference of, hey, if I need this, who should I contact? And hopefully this makes things easy for you too. One thing I do want to point out though, is that if you need your official ACT score report from the March ACT, the person to contact for that is Miss Edwards. She can send you your score report so that you can send it off to colleges. You all should have received them in the mail, but I know some people have misplaced it or for whatever reason don't have it. So
Ms. Ford, Ms. Starks needs to talk to the seniors for a second to give them some information.
Absolutely.
Hello. Can y'all hear me?
We hear you, Ms. Starks.
Hi, this is Mrs. Starks. I'm in the registrar, records clerk at Central High School seniors. Very important that you email me your social security numbers, and I would like a copy of the card if you could send that as well. This is for your Keys money, your Keys account. I know you want that money, so please send it to me. My email is Karen Starks, KARYNSTAR, no, sorry, Karen.Starks at Jefferson.kyschools.us. I have a few, but I need a lot more. I only have like 10 people that responded when Ms. Poor asked you all to send it to me. So please get it to me as soon as possible. And it's also for your diploma, so I can make sure you have the correct name on your diploma when I order them. So please remember to do that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Starks, for that reminder. That is so, so, so important. So guys, get that into Ms. Starks.
Next, Ms. Clark, you're unmuted.
Oh, I was muted. Here I'm saying, I was like, I'm finished talking. You guys don't have to listen to me anymore. And the irony of it all is that I was muted while I was saying it. So
ready for the next slide?
yes.
Hello, seniors. It's Dr. King here, and I am coming to talk to you, of course, about transition readiness. And I just want to say that you all are doing an awesome job with meeting the benchmarks for academic readiness as well as career readiness. However, we still have work to do. We have 52 of you who are really, really close on meeting those benchmarks for ACT. We need you to sign up, sign up, sign up for the ACT. You can't score or meet those benchmarks if you do not take the ACT. We have 27 of you who are academic ready. Good job. We have 79 who are career ready. Great job. And we also have 21 students whose names are listed on the screen who are our platinum readiness students. You all are academic and career ready. So I want to encourage you to keep up the good work, keep working hard. We're not finished yet. We have work to do, and we need you to meet those benchmarks for the academic readiness. And for those of you who are still working in your pathways to possibly pass your end of program assessment or some sort of certification, keep at it, because we're doing a great job, and it's only because of you. So thank you all. Keep up the good work.
Hi, seniors. We're actually going to let Miss Vidito speak quickly about caps and gowns. After she speaks, I am going to put the paperwork that she's speaking of to give you all the information about your cap and gowns. So Miss Vidito, go ahead. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm Starla Vidito, and I'm one of your sales reps with Balfour. I wanted to just go over some details on how to order cap and gown this year, since everything's a little bit different. The main thing is you can order it online. You'll want to make sure to go to our Kentuckiana Balfour website, which will be included on the paperwork. Once you get there, there'll be a spot for cap and gown. You'll just need to click on that. It'll ask for your school, your height, and your weight. You can also order different packages online as well, like we normally would have when we come to school. It's really important to order your cap and gown. Go ahead and try to get it ordered early, just with everything going in. That way you know that it's done, taken care of. Just again, with the unknowns, if anything changes, you'll have that ready and out of the way. You can also come out to our showroom at any time and order your cap and gown as well. We are currently making appointments in our showroom just because we have a little bit limited space available, but we can help 2 different sets of customers at a time. And with that, if you wanted to pay cash or a check or something that's not a credit card, you can do it there as well. That's going to be the main thing with your cap and gown order. It'll come with a cap, gown, the tassel, and the stole. So it'll be everything that you need to walk at graduation. Does there anyone have any questions for me?
Well, what we'll do, Ms. Vidito, we'll answer all the questions. We're on YouTube Live in addition
Okay.
to the Zoom. So we'll
Okay.
answer the questions on the YouTube Live. But thank you
Okay.
for coming on. Seniors,
right.
I will post the documents in our Google Classroom under the tab that Ms. Poor just showed you. So thank you, Ms. Vidito.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, seniors. So I am actually at a onesie cooking session with my daughter for school, but I am talking to you today about attendance. Please make sure that you are attending your classes. It is very important that you are attending your classes. You need to make sure that you log on time, 9:15, 10:15, 12:45, and 1:45. You need to be in attendance. We're starting to see some grades drop, and your teachers are very concerned about your grades and about some of our seniors. Remember, the semester ends on the 15th of January. So in previous years, we've ended before the holiday break, but this year it does not end until the 15th of January. And that's because, at the beginning we pushed back 2 weeks to start NTI. But you really need to make sure that you are attending your classes. Attendance has really been dropping lately, and that's part of the reason that we are having our Wellness Week next week. Wellness Week next week is for you to be able to take some time to pause, not have any new material taught to you. So there will not be any live classes next week for you all, but it is time for you to catch up. If you are behind in some of your classes, you need to contact your teachers, reach out to your teachers, and you need to try to figure out what you need to do to learn the material that you have missed. From now on, though, you need to make sure that you're really pressing forward. I know that it is hard. It's hard for us not being able to see you guys, but you really have to make sure that you're pressing forward in your classes as you're preparing for graduation. So you saw that Miss Starla Vidito from Balfour, she did just speak about caps and gowns. We are very hopeful that there will be a live graduation this year. I do not know what that will look like, but we are very hopeful that that is what's going to happen. I know there are many of you asking about prom. We are continuing to plan for a prom as we would normally. We do not know what it will look like. We do not know when it will be, but just so that you know, we are continuing to plan for a prom. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and post those in the chat. And go ahead, Dr. Bumpus.
Are we still doing high school fees? And if so, when are those due?
Well, right now we are on hold from JCPS to collect fees. We will have to pay fees, when we start moving forward with prom and things like that. So last year's class collected $155, and that covered your senior dues plus every student for the yearbook also. So it won't be any more. Well, the class officers are still continuing to meet, but that is what last year's senior dues were. Next, we're going to have your class sponsors. So we have Ms. Hutchison and we have Ms. Dennis. If you all would like to speak to the class.
Hi, everybody. This is Miss Dennis. So we have just started meeting with your senior class representatives to try to start planning some stuff. But if you ever have any suggestions or you want to get in touch, you can always email either one of us and we can help the best way we can.
I will also add to that, as my role as the yearbook person. If you have not yet turned in a senior picture to me, please do that on the Google Classroom. There's a Dropbox, like an assignment for your senior picture to turn that into me so that we can send that. If you took your picture with me, you're taken care of, you're fine. But if you did not take your picture with me, please turn one in on Google Classroom so that we can get you in the yearbook. We're running out of time for that because I got to get those over to the yearbook company people. So make sure that you are getting those in.
Guys, I wanted to address the question about Pell Grants. So when you complete the FAFSA, if you qualify for a Pell Grant, then it will automatically be applied. So it is not a separate process. So thank you to the person who answered that question. We also have Miss Bradford here. I don't know if she had anything she wanted to share, but if you wanted to say hi or share anything, Miss Bradford.
No, I was mostly just here to address any questions like about cap and gowns, fee waivers, things like that. And with the cap and gowns, I do want to just reiterate what Ms. Vidito said about ordering earlier. We did have a lot of last minute orders last year, and it does kind of put pressure on those of us here at the school to make sure you get those. The company also does not guarantee that they will have your size after spring break, which is when they do their major pool of cap and gowns. So if you can, please, 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 please order now. If you cannot, make sure that's done before spring break, like at the latest, if possible.
Thank you, Miss Bradford. So are there any other questions from the parents or students that are viewing? We can answer those questions. And if not, then we'll go ahead and sign off. Any questions, those of you who are on the YouTube? I'm guessing not. Well, thank you guys.
Questions, Ms. Poor.
What's that?
I don't see any questions. I think we're good to end this.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this presentation will be posted in that useful information portion of the senior Google Classroom. So there were links in this presentation. So you will be able to access those links by just logging on to Google Classroom and checking it out there. Make sure you have your parents watch this later if they were unable to tune in now. And you guys have a great weekend. Please take advantage of Wellness Week. For those of you who are behind, get caught up.
There's a question in the chat about the backpack of skills, and I'm actually curious about that as well. Do we have an answer about that?
Well, I guarantee Dr. Bumpus has an answer about the backpack of success skills.
I would, but I missed the question. Let's see.
Somebody just brought it up. It wasn't like worded as a question. They're wondering like when, yeah, a few people are asking about that. Just can you explain how that's going to be done or when it's going to be done probably?
Sure. The backpack's still on, just like we talked about at the last meeting. We're not going to start scheduling any of them until January. But remember, I'll put in the chat right now that there is a website where you can get the rubrics and examples and a template if you need that. Here we go.
And Miss Dr. Bumpus, I can also take your slides from last meeting and put them into today's slideshow as well, so that they have it there as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't plan to talk about it, but I mean, all the information we talked about last time is still the same. And once we have a process for signing up in January, we will have more information to share with you.
Again, guys, please, please, please take advantage of Wellness Week.
Ms.
This
Ford,
was designed to help you guys de-stress and get caught up. And I think somebody has a question, maybe?
there's a question about the civics test.
Miss Beaumont, you want to take that one away?
Yes. So we do have a few students who need to take the civics test, but it has to be one-on-one and online, and we have not quite figured that out. We're waiting on an answer because we would like to give the test in person. So for example, we were able to give the PSAT in person at school. So we're really waiting on the numbers to go down before we set a date to be able to take the test in person. We tried it online, which those of you who need to take the test saw that we were just trying to run a test run on it. And we think that the best way would be for us to be able to give the test in person in smaller groups. So we're waiting for approval from the district, but we have to come out of the red before we can even do that. You will be prepared for the test. There will be live sessions. Ms. Niehoff always provides the seniors with live sessions before we actually give the test. So you will have tutoring on or prep for the test before it happens.
All right, guys, I guess that'll do it for today's meeting. If you guys need anything, feel free to reach out to us. We miss you, and we hope to be able to see you really, really soon.